Call the meeting to order for the Village of Round Lake Beach. This is our board meeting for Monday, January 20, 2020. Please call the roll.
Trustee Husk. Trustee Valadez.
Here.
Trustee Stout.
Here.
Trustee Nichols.
Here.
Trustee Cleveland.
Here.
Mayor Hill.
Here. Let the record show a quorum is present. Would you all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by trustee
Second.
Cleveland, second by trustee Valadez. Any corrections, additions, deletions to the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Okay, the agenda is approved as written. We have our council meeting minutes from December 16, 2019. Any corrections or clarifications on those? If not, is there a motion to approve? Motion by trustee Stout,
Second.
second by trustee Nichols. We have a motion and a second. Once again, any questions, corrections, clarifications on the minutes? Again, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. We have expenditures this month of $1,041,212.88. Some of the larger items there are Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance, a little over $125,000. The CLC Joint Action Water Agency for our Fresh Lake Michigan water, we actually have November and December. November's almost $137,000, and December's a little over $141,000. We have a lot of other bills besides that. Those are just some of the major ones. The staff have all reviewed them. The trustees have all had a chance to review them. And the trustees have any questions on any of the bills? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Cleveland. Second. Second by trustee Stout. We have a motion and a second. Once again, any questions on the bills? Please call the roll.
Trustee Stout.
Aye.
Trustee Nichols.
Aye.
Trustee Cleveland.
Aye.
Trustee Valadez.
Aye.
Bills are approved. We have no ratifications tonight, so moving on to standing committees. Any other trustees have any reports?
Mayor, I do have a few things. Let's all remember that tomorrow night at 6 p.m., the mayor will have a fireside chat with Lake County Board Member Dick Barr. Please come out and say hello, listen to some of the comments. Feel free to ask some questions. There is coffee and refreshments involved. We also just had our Mike and Joe concert last night in the winter concert review, Saturday night at the Civic Center. And want to make sure people are aware also. I know they came out in the cold, but Infinity will be there on at 7 p.m. Actually, the date's not on here. February 15th, I'm sorry. And then March 21st on a Saturday again, Creedence Revived. And American English will be here again on April 18th. That's our 4-concert series for the winter. So please come out, check us out online at the Civic Center so you can get the information on that. Also, last Friday the 17th, our Family Fun Fridays was a large success. Again, about 300 to 400 attendees. Want to let everyone know we do have another one coming up February 21st. Hands and Strings will be there, so please come on. It's a variety show, puppet variety show. Come on out.
Great, thank you, trustee Nichols. A lot of great things happen over at Cultural Civic Center. What a nice thing to do on the weekend. It's pretty affordable, and you can have a great band to listen to.
Yep.
Anybody else? Okay, about a few items under the mayor's report tonight. We have a resolution honoring Ed Garou. Ed's lived in town for a long, long time. At least he used to live in town for a long, long time. I appointed Ed to the police pension committee back after I became mayor. He far surpassed my expectations of working in that committee. And I worked with other members, some members here, to make sure we got people that deserve the pension, to receive a pension, and those that really shouldn't be on there to get back on full-time employment. So you guys did a great job, and that's the whole idea of the pension committee. Recognize those that do deserve it, and recognize those that should probably move on with life. So, again, we appreciate that very much. We have a resolution here. If I could have our clerk please read that.
A resolution recognizing Ed Garou for his dedicated leadership and years of service as chairman for the Police Pension Board for the Village of Round Lake Beach. whereas the Village of Round Lake Beach would like to honor and recognize individuals for their long-term service to the community, and whereas Ed Garou has completed over 18 years of service with the Village of Round Lake Beach, and whereas he has been a long-standing resident of Round Lake Beach, Illinois, and whereas he has fulfilled his duties as chairman for the Police Pension Board with excellence, professionalism, and distinction, and whereas he has demonstrated innovation and creativity in his decisions to hire a new pension board attorney, actuary, auditor, and accounting firm to the greater benefit to the board, and whereas his expertise and wisdom in finance and investing was a true asset to the board members and the Village of Round Lake Beach, and whereas Ed has continually exhibited professional, honorable, and ethical behavior in both words and actions. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Richard H. Hill, do hereby offer our sincerest appreciations to Ed Garou for his dedicated years of service for the Village of Round Lake Beach.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Cleveland,
Second?
second by trustee Nichols. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ed, we have a nice little presentation here for you. Not often we have someone serve so many years with the village, based in a volunteer capacity. So thank you very much, Ed. I appreciate it very much, and best of luck with your new chapter in life.
Well, thank you very much. I lived in Round Lake Beach for 43 years, and it's better than half my life, thank you very much. And it was a real pleasure living here. And the small part that I played is very humbling. The Police Pension Board has a lot of responsibility, and it's an honor to have served, because my belief is that it's pensions like that that make it worthwhile for people to face the issues that they face as being public service police officers. You know, it's mind-boggling sometimes. You know, everybody else goes running out when they go running in, but there's a lot to be said for that. And several people have said to me over the years that it takes a special person to do that. And so the small part that I played in the Village of Round Lake Beach, serving those who serve, it was an honor and a privilege, and it's humbling, very humbling, that people thought well enough of my service to at least say thanks.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, please, come on.
I just want to say Ed is going to be missed severely by our board. He's been a rock. And the challenge is up to you now, because you do need a replacement, so
Sure is.
again, he's been a pillar to the community and a voice for our board.
Yes.
So thank you, Ed.
Thank you, Jim. Tim's been the most outstanding president that I've served under 80 years. He's more involved than the presidents. When I serve in the day-to-day affairs, he can be, the members get informed of what he thinks and what the direction that he'd like the board to take. The other members just, the other presidents just, oh, they serve. I'm not trying to say they didn't serve honorably, but Jim has been the most involved, I think, of everybody.
Well, we appreciate the whole board and all that they have done together as a team and working hand in hand to make it what's best for our officers, both active and retired, and for the village residents and their taxpayers. So thank you very much for all of you. Appreciate that. You're welcome to stay. We have a short meeting coming up, but it's not required at all. We won't hurt our feelings if you walk out. Okay, item B on the mayor's report is the annual mayor's presentation. I should have stayed down there, I guess.
Yeah, we got them on both ends. Get this
Each year, I try to give a little presentation as far as what happened the previous year and where we're going in the current year. So for 2020, last week Thursday, I gave a presentation to the Chamber of Commerce. It was very well received. All the mayors from Round Lake area gave presentations. And this year was a little bit different in that we had done a survey about a year and a half ago, and we've been working very closely together on shared services and things like that. So I spoke to different aspects of the shared services and how we have worked together. So that worked out very, very well. The survey came back, and it showed that the majority of residents were happy with our services, and we like to hear that, although there are some that are not happy with the services. So we'll always continue to strive to improve. And in almost any community, policing is probably the #1 issue that people care about the most and that impacts their lives the most. If they have a good, solid, safe community, they can be happy and raise a family very well. Again, majority of our residents were happy with our police department. They do rely on them a lot. And when we do our budgeting and all, they want to make sure that we keep the police department and community service in mind together there. Both the police department and the Round Lake Beach Police Foundation have both been very active last year. The police foundation, working with the police department in the village, did a dedication to the Heroes Grove right out in front of the police department. It's going to be several phases. This is phase 1 that was completed. It's a place to either go and reflect on your heroes or people in your life, or if you just want to enjoy the beauty out there. They're going to continue to improve it year after year. So please keep an eye on that and stop by and just relax and enjoy it. National Night Out is always one of our biggest events throughout the whole community. We have, I think, a couple thousand people come down there. It's down at Lakefront Park. And it brings a lot of people down to Lakefront Park that normally don't go down to Lakefront Park. It's kind of hidden down there in the older section of town. And I guess we need to educate our residents a lot more about how beautiful that lakefront is and to come down and use it more often. We always have a great car show put on by our police department. A lot of different booths are out there from organizations throughout the Round Lake area community. And it's just a great event. Shop with the Cop is another one that's been very well received throughout the whole community. First came to the Round Lake area through the village of Round Lake Park, and we appreciate that. Walmart's been very great helping with the purchases for the kids and all, and holding the parties, and we have our cultural center over here for the parties now, so it's worked out very well. Public Works is the #2 issue that directly affects people's lives, whether it be the streets, the water, the sewer, the stormwater. We want to make sure that their house, they have sewer service, they have water service, they don't get flooded. There are some areas of town that we still are very challenged on in some of those areas. The large majority of it, the water and sewer, are all in great shape. And only a couple little pockets do we have any problems generally in flooding. They also take care of our building maintenance, and we're doing a lot of tree stumping, finishing up those last few trees that are out there, and planting new ones. So they're a very busy crew, and snow plowing this time of year is also very big on their agenda. One of the big projects for road work that we're doing, started last year, was the Orchard and Hook Drive project. We resurfaced the Hook area from the railroad tracks down to Orchard. This year we'll be finishing up the other section of Hook over on the east side of Route 83. And then on Orchard, we actually rebuilt this section from Rollins Road down to about the water tower. And that was a big job. When we did some inspections of the Orchard a couple of years ago, we found out that they put some very thin asphalt down. They didn't have the right base. And that's why we consistently had potholes. So we actually had to completely rebuild that road. Phase 2 of that will be from the water tower out to Monteville Road being done this year. And that'll complete the road, and it should be good probably good for the 20 years then. Luckily, we were able to get some federal funding for some of this, and it really saved us and our residents a lot of money. Anyone that drives through the area probably remembers all this, how torn up it was temporarily. We tried to keep one lane open at all times going north, but going south, we had to find an alternate route. We also worked with the Round Lake Area Park District on some shoreline restoration projects. Again, shoreline restoration is very important. We have our whole lakefront park that we did some different testing of different types of shoreline projects to maintain the erosion so it doesn't happen there. This is another area in town where we had a little bit of erosion that we want to make sure we try to stop it as best we could. Public partnerships, we've been dealing a lot with, as I mentioned, the other communities in around Lake area especially, trying to find out what's best to share services on. Now, whether it be snow plowing or purchasing. Purchasing is probably the biggest area we could all save a lot of money, and we have saved a lot of money over the last 5 years through the Lake County Municipal League and a couple other organizations that put together bidding programs. We've also worked with the Northwest Facilities Planning Area Wholesale Sewer for sewer cleaning and inspections. I think we saved 30 or 40% when we did that. The Round Lake Area Park District on the wetlands IDA projects. The Round Lake Area, Greater Round Lake Fire Protection District, both the diesel and the gas fuel. They have a purchasing program with them to help minimize their costs. We've also been able to use some of our office space temporarily while they're redoing Fire Station Number 1. The Round Lake Area School District, they've been buying rock salt from us for the roads for a couple of years now. Municipal Partner Initiative also, the Public Works Purchasing Program, what I mentioned a minute ago, same thing at Lake County Municipal League. The joint bids have been very good for all of us. We've been working for several years on a commercial waste franchise. Right now, all of our residents have waste management that picks up the whole residential waste. That way you have one truck going down the street, stopping each house. You don't have 8 different companies coming in, driving all over the roads, blocking the streets, and really making a mess of things and hurting the roads. We want to have the same thing for our commercial franchises, and that there will be eventually one waste hauler for them. And across the county, there have been several other communities that have already done this. They got in before the state passed a new law that made it very difficult for us to do this. It's going to take us probably 3 years total to implement this. But the ones that have gotten in before the state made the changes, you're seeing between a 30 and 50% reduction in cost to the businesses in most cases. So it's a great opportunity for our businesses to save some money, also reduce the truck traffic on our roads, and when you reduce the truck traffic, you reduce the impact on the roads. Most of our residents, of course, always want new businesses coming to town. 95% of them, in fact, said that that's important, very important, to someone important, that we keep on attracting new business. We had several businesses open up in 2019. A few of them on the sheet there. A couple of businesses remodeled and reopened. Nice to see those, especially along Rollins Road. It's a nice thoroughfare. There's some old buildings that have been remodeled, and every time they do that, it just keeps on improving it. We have a couple of businesses already that are indicated in 2020 they will be here. The residents also indicated that the restaurants were one of their most sought after new business. I think we already have over 50 restaurants in town, so I'm not sure what exactly we don't have, maybe a nice steakhouse. But again, a lot of that has to do with demographics, and we have not been able to lure a steakhouse yet. Also medical facilities and grocery stores. Medical facilities, we just had a new one open up last year, and grocery stores, we have several of them also, some major, I think 4 major grocery stores and a couple minor grocery stores. So if they don't have what they need, I'm not sure what else they're looking for. Here's a list of a lot of our restaurants. You can see the pictures here of them. Pretty much anything you're looking for is available in town. Community outreach is very important to our community, through the Cultural and Civic Center especially. We've been able to do a lot of that. Trustee Nichols mentioned earlier about the Fireside Chat coming up tomorrow night, and as you can see, I did several of them last year. I'm going to probably do about 6 more this year again. It's always an exciting time talking to people from throughout the county and throughout the state, and sometimes even the federal government, as far as what's going on in those different areas and how it impacts our residents. Events at the center also. There have been a lot of partnerships with other organizations, that the Seed Expo, the Library District, and the Cole Children's Museum, Lake County Municipal League, Round Lake Area School District, so the Round Lake Area Chamber of Commerce especially. There's been a lot of things going on over there. Fun Fridays, again, Trustee Nichols has mentioned that also. They've been a big hit. A lot of big crowds there, a lot of kids and parents just having a great time. So we will definitely be continuing those. And concerts, that's something that's really been ramping up the last couple of years, thanks to our administrator, Dave Cobain. He's been putting those in place, and I think we're having about 4 each season now. And in the wintertime, so it gives cabin fever a little break there. And then in the summertime, we have our outdoor festivals. And the outdoor stage is nice and large and fits a lot of people on the hill, so it's always a great time. We do encourage people to become friends of the center. Buy your membership, and that'll help to continue to provide the services for the residents and for the kids. Again, thank you very much. We look forward to 2020 and working more with our other communities and our county. Any questions on the report tonight? Is there a clerk's report? No, there's not. Okay, we'll move on to items of business then. We have item A, is a resolution declaring certain police equipment as surplus. Over the years, the police department has gotten various weapons that they don't need, that don't meet their current needs of the department. They want to trade them in through a registered police procurement agency and get some weapons that are more tailored to today's needs. I guess we have a lot of shotguns, which are not used as much anymore, and trying to get mostly more rifles, which are much more accurate and more common in today's police arsenals. Any questions by the board? Is there a motion to approve?
Moved.
Motion by trustee Nichols, second by trustee Valdez. We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Please call the roll.
Trustee Valdez?
Aye.
Trustee Stout?
Aye.
Trustee Nichols?
Aye.
Trustee Cleveland?
Aye.
That's approved. Item B is a resolution approving change order number 1 relative to the village's original agreement with Robinson Heating and Cooling. We've been using Robinson for several years now. They do a great job for our systems. Unfortunately, we uncovered some leaks in our heating flue pipes, which can be very dangerous. It can leak carbon monoxide and other issues like that. So we're going to have them replace those. Unfortunately, we have pretty long runs of those heating flues, and it's going to be fairly expensive to do so. Not so much for the labor, but the actual buying the pipe, which will be the next item here. We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Cleveland. Second by trustee Stout. We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Please call the roll.
Trustee Valdez? Trustee Stout? Trustee Nichols?
Aye.
Trustee Cleveland?
Aye.
That's also approved. Item C is a resolution authorizing and approving an award of contract to Bar Mechanical Incorporated. This is a company that we're actually buying the double-walled flue pipe from. It's a very solid type of pipe, and hopefully we will not have the same issue in the future with this type of pipe. Any questions by the board? Is there a motion to approve? So moved. Motion by trustee Stout,
Second.
second by trustee Nichols. We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Please call the roll.
Trustee Stout?
Aye.
Trustee Nichols?
Aye.
Trustee Cleveland?
Aye.
Trustee Valdez?
Aye.
That's also approved. And item D is a resolution approving an agreement with ID Networks Incorporated for police records management software system. Several years ago, we changed to a new police records management system that was supposed to offer superior capabilities in reporting. We worked with them for years, but never achieved the benefits that we were expecting. So we're switching back to ID Networks. We still have our old data from ID Networks. ID Networks will also be able to convert our current data, so we'll be able to access everything that we have in our system. And I believe we're also going to save quite a bit of money on the cost. So it's a win-win for us and our police officers. Any questions by the board? Is there a motion to approve? Motion by trustee Nichols,
Second.
second by trustee Cleveland. Any questions? Please call the roll.
Trustee Stout?
Aye.
Trustee Nichols?
Aye.
Trustee Cleveland?
Aye.
Trustee Valdez?
That's also approved. That was our last item of business. We do have an executive session tonight, but before that, it is open to public participation. Anyone who has a question or comment for the board, please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and either state your comment or ask a question. Well, thank you, everyone. We do have an executive session tonight for probable pending litigation, land acquisition, executive session minutes, and personnel. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Cleveland. Second by trustee Stout. Please call the roll.
Trustee Nichols?
Aye.
Trustee Cleveland?
Aye.
Trustee Valdez? Trustee Stout?
That's approved. We will be in executive session. You're welcome to stay, but it's not required. Thank you.
finger in there on that metal too.
I'll wake you up real quick.
Okay, we are done with our executive session. Call the meeting back to order for January 20, January 20, 2020, our council meeting. We have no action on our executive session items, so is there a motion to adjourn?
Move.
Second?
We have trustee Valdez and trustee Cleveland, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned, thank you.